Okay, so I work in feminist and ecological economics, both of which look at the parts of human survival and flourishing that regular economics leaves out, particularly unpaid labor, how children are, taken care of, elderly people ill. Ecological economics looks at where resources come from, where waste products go. All of those are ignored if you start with a worker that just pops up at age 18, never gets sick, never gets old, resources that just pop up, and waste products that just disappear. So we're bringing back in these things that have been lost. And I started thinking about this image of husbandry because one of the ways we tend to think dualistically is that economics is about self-interest and mechanism and competition, and then women in home are about altruism, care, nurturing, this kind of thing. Feminist economists started to look at power differentials and non-altruistic things going on in homes a while back, and thinking about how limited our model is on that side. I started thinking about the business side. Where did this idea that businesses are only about profit and markets are only about competition come from? And I went back and studied it, and it wasn't about economists going out and studying businesses. Economists invented it. Profit maximization is a nice, simple, mathematizable way of distilling a very complex organization down to one simple goal that you could write down at the end. Unfortunately, this notion from mainstream economics has become performative. So a lot of business leaders and business journalists now talk about businesses as though the bottom line, the profit, the stock values are the only thing important. Husbandry is an old word. It really comes from pre-industrial times when the household was an economic unit. But if you look up definitions, it's about tending and cultivating and nurturing. It's still in use in regard to animal husbandry. That is, you have to be concerned about the health of the animals. You have to be concerned about their environment, the effects of the weather on them, everything else. So it has a caring, cultivating, stewarding connotation to it. And I also chose it because it's historically connected with what are obviously economic activities, raising of livestock and farming, and historically associated with men. We have a lot of social images of women in caring. We don't have a lot of social images of men in caring. And we don't have a lot of, particularly a lot of images of men in economic roles, or women and men in their economic roles being caring. So this notion of husbandry is one of stewardship and running and nurturing organizations for the long run. It is related to older notions like corporate social responsibility and such, but I think it's a sort of a better story, better metaphor in terms of capturing our imagination. My own contribution to this is not so much the how-to. Business people who already have this kind of view of what they do would be better on that. My particular role is trying to get people to realize that the economic myths were made up by economists and they don't have to believe them.